Hey everybody! In today's video, I just have one quick tip on how to get two different looks from your shimmery ink sprays. I'm using the new Technique Junkies Shimmering Bliss sprays. These are amazing, sparkly sprays. They are water-based and acid-free. And I just love how sparkly they are. I'm like a raccoon. So the colors that I'm using today are Miami Vice. The names of these are hilarious. And Vivid Volt. I'm also using two Technique Junkies stencils and some of my favorite blue tape, which I'll link you to. Now I've put some tape on the back of the watercolor paper face up, and now I'm taping that down to my work surface. And the purpose of this is to keep the watercolor paper as flat as I can. Whenever you're using a stencil with watercolor paper that's wet, it can bow up, and that makes the ink or the spray run down the sides of the paper, and then you don't get that nice preserved design. Isn't that Miami Vice gorgeous? I love that color. So I'll remove this stencil, and you can see I have this beautiful pattern, almost looks like a mosaic tile. And you can see the sparkle as I dry it, but I am going to dry it with my heat tool. This is the tip that I want to give you, because you can do stencils and sprays two ways. You can spray wet on wet, or you can do what I'm doing here and dry the layers in between. Even though they are water-based, you'll retain the design underneath if you dry the first layer before you put the second layer on. So now I'll switch shapes. I'll go with a circular design. I love these Colorful Life stencils. And now I'll add the Miami Vice. I just want a light layer of this. I want the primary pattern to be that mosaic tile pattern. But you can see how distinct the pattern is, even though it's a very light application of the spray. It's retained the shape of the stencil really well. So I'll dry that as well so that I don't smear it when I go to pick it up. But I wanted to show you what one of them looked like where I didn't dry the layers in between, just so that you can kind of see the difference. So I'll grab that one, and this is what it looks like. And you can see how on the wet watercolor paper and on the wet layer below, how the circles spread out and touched each other. So it's just two different ways to get two different looks. Here are a couple cards. I also got a twofer out of the cards by die cutting one and then using the negative space for the second cards. These are all new releases from Technique Junkies today, and I do have a 10% off coupon for you on my blog, so be sure and click over with the link below. Thanks so much for watching.